Today for New Music Monday, we're going to check out the brand new album from Gogol Bordello, and it's called Pura Vida Conspiracy. As anyone who watches my videos regularly knows, Gogol Bordello have been my favorite band on the planet for the better part of a decade. So there are a few things that get me more excited than hearing they've got a new album out. So to say that I've been anxiously awaiting this record is a massive understatement. But sadly, this is probably the most disappointing album from an artist I love since Björk put out her horrible Biophilia record a couple years ago. The record is just slow and uninspired. There's no other way around it. There's no high-octane rockers like Punk Rock Paranda or Never Wanna Be Young Again. It just makes no sense to me because vibrant, wild party songs are pretty much what this band has built their name on. But as I listened to this album over and over, the word that kept repeating in my head was dragging. The songs are fun to an extent, don't get me wrong, but that vitality, that level of energy, that spark that this band does so well is nowhere to be found. It's not a question of them putting in enough effort, because when you step back and look at these songs only from a musical perspective, they're very well crafted. And it's also clear that the band is 100% into playing them. They just don't have that punch, that electricity that makes that band so great. Sure, they have these super fast drum breaks here and there throughout the songs, but when they shift back into the core tempo on songs like Dig Deep Enough, that Gogol Bordello feeling just isn't there. To tell you the truth, I never thought there would be a song that this band wrote that I couldn't get completely into, let alone an entire album's worth. But it's just sort of, I don't know, this record comes off like Gogol Bordello light, or like they're just sort of going through the motions to an extent. I'm not looking for this band to blow the roof off the place with every single song. Far from that. I love their slower songs from the past like Sun Is On My Side and Through the Roof and Underground. But those songs are the exceptions on their respective album, where on Pura Vida Conspiracy, it becomes the rule and they're nowhere near as good. I totally get why they released Malandrino and Lost Innocent World as the lead singles on this album, because they're probably the two strongest tracks, and in terms of tempo and tone, they're not representative of the rest of the record. I mean, once you listen to these two songs compared to the rest of the record, it's very obvious how subpar the rest of those songs are. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe their extensive absence from New York City has softened them up too much, and maybe they just didn't realize that the bite their songs almost always have just wasn't there. But any way you slice it, there's clearly something very big missing from this record. Whatever that something is, I have to think that once they get into their current tour, they're going to see how much these songs just kill the energy of the crowd, and they're going to slowly remove them from the set because they just don't measure up to anything else they've done. But with all of that being said, I will still recommend as strongly as ever that you go to any extent you can to see this band as often as possible, as I still believe they are the greatest live band on the planet and everybody should experience them at least once a year. On another note, clearly when you look at the marketing strategy, somebody else is starting to pull the strings at Gogol Bordello, because suddenly we have overpriced tickets, horribly cheesy marketing tricks, and the band playing a clothing store that is openly homophobic and racist. So Eugene, if you're watching, get your house in order. I'll admit that more than any album I've reviewed over the last few years, I really wanted to like this album, if not love it. This is my favorite band on the planet, and honestly, it hurts me inside to have to tear it apart. But it's just not up to par. I've played this one a few dozen times, and the truth is the truth. This album might be decent for other bands' catalogs, but when you compare it to what we know Gogol Bordello is capable of, it's almost laughable. And on the buy it or borrow it, as much as I hate to say it, this is a 100% bin it. Do not buy it under any circumstances. Get the rest of this band's catalog, any of their music and all their music, but steer clear of Pura Vida Conspiracy. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you dug it. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe, leave a comment, click like, whatever you want to do. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook right here, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow.